Welcome back to Minded Manifestation. I'm Minded, your spiritual faceless YouTuber friend. And in today's video, we are going to be talking about how to make a manifestation list and get everything that you want, honey. Okay? Now, you may be wondering, manifestation list, what do you mean? Well, think of it as journaling. I used to have a diary. I love writing and I love journaling. However, the more I've grown into adulthood, the more I realize that I just don't have time to sit and journal all the time. I mean, when I start writing, and mind you, I'm a blogger, so I love writing. But when I start writing for my manifestations, I tend to just write too much. I tend to overdo it and I tend to just go into many details. And I know they say get into as many details as you can when you're trying to journal and things like that. It just doesn't feel right for me. I feel like I'm limiting myself in some way. So I've morphed into this technique of writing manifestation lists instead. And that's because just in my professional life, in my daily life, I'm a person that makes lists for everything. I have a daily list, I have a weekly list, monthly list, and yearly list. Like, I'm just that girl, okay? So I was like, you know what? It's only natural for me, someone who uses lists, and I usually check off everything that is on my list all the time, every day. Then of course it would only be natural for me to also make a manifestation list. So that's what I've been doing this past year, and the results that I've gotten are pretty amazing. So I'm going to walk you through how to do that. Okay, now first thing you want to keep in mind is that everything depends on what you believe. This is a manifestation technique. If you hear the word manifestation list and you already feel like it doesn't resonate with you, click off this video, because that means that this technique is not for you. Okay, you can stay if you wanted to see how it goes and how to do it, but it's very important no matter what technique it is. And I'm going to get into this in another video, but always check the information that you're getting, how you're receiving it, and how it makes you feel. Very important. Now, what you're going to do is very simple. You can meditate first if you want. Just make yourself feel calm if you want to. I try not to write lists when I'm stressed out or angry. It's the same thing as when I'm journaling. Although even when I'm journaling, sometimes I'll journal to calm myself down. If you want, you can journal first to kind of calm yourself down a little bit and get yourself into a flow. But do whatever you feel like you need to do to be able to make yourself feel more calm and more just in the flow of things. Okay, once you do that, take out a piece of paper or a notebook, or if you're going to write digitally in your computer or your phone or whatever, you can go ahead and do that. I want you to start, if this is your first list, make a list with 3 check boxes. And you can title it however you want. I usually title it like 2022 manifestations or whatever you want to do. For example, you can title it this week's manifestations if you're doing something for a week. Okay, once you do that, I recommend you start with 3 or 5 things just so that you can test it out and see what happens. Now, some people are so good at this that they get 100% of the things on their list. I'm usually between 80 to 100%, like 80% to 100% for sure. But I've also seen people who have written lists or letters and things like that who've gotten about 60 or 70% of the things that they wanted on their list. So know that you're going to get the majority of the things that you write down. Put down a title. Don't put down a date. We don't need a date. It's enough that you put today's manifestations or this week's manifestations. That's all you need. Then you put 3 to 5 check boxes, and then choose 3 to 5 things that you want to manifest for this week or this month or this year, or whatever time frame that you're looking to manifest in. Now, if you're just starting, start with like very simple things. When I first started making this list, it was like maybe 5 years ago that I started testing out like manifesting 7 things in 7 days or things like that. I would choose very simple things. And when I say simple, I mean like a cute guy looked at me, or I got a cup of coffee, or someone bought me breakfast, like things like that I have very little resistance to. And that's what you want to start with. Write things that you have very little resistance to. Also, try to put in one thing about money, just one thing. Even if it's I manifest or like I got $1. I usually say one thing about money, one thing about love, and then everything else can just be whatever you want. Just because usually money and love or like relationships are the 2 things that people have the most resistance to. So that's what we want to work on, building less of a resistance towards. Now, how you want to formulate this, you want to formulate it just like you would if you wrote a regular checklist. If it was my regular to-do list, it would be call mom, cook dinner, drive to work, formulate it like receive $100 get a free cup of coffee, get a free breakfast, get smiled at by a cute guy. That's how you would formulate it. Very straight to the point, not like, I want to be the. No, you gotta make it quick and straight to the point, exactly what you want, just like that. Like I said, it can be whatever you want. Once you've done that, take a look at your list, read through it once, see if everything looks good. Now here is where you can kind of decide what you want to do. Now, if you've watched any of my other videos, you know that I take on assumptions very quickly. So for me, all I need to do is think about things for 3 days and it's already in my brain. So I automatically start assuming it. That's just me, and I have worked my way up to that point. For some people, it takes longer. Science says that it takes 21 to 30 days to change a habit. So if you feel like you need to read that list every day for 21 days, do it. If you feel like you only need to do it for 7 days, do it. Do it until you feel like it's already in your brain. You're getting that free cup of coffee. You got that money in your account. You got that cute guy that looked at you. You got the phone call that you wanted. You got the text. It's in your head already without you even having to think about it. You're automatically just assuming it. That's the point you want to get to. For me, like I said, it takes 3 days. So once a day, usually in the morning or before I go to sleep, but I prefer in the morning for some reason. I don't know why. Oh, I know why. Because at night I prefer to do Neville Goddard's Sats, which I have already talked about in one of my earlier videos, so you're going to want to watch that. I'll try to capture the feeling. I'm going to make a video about why belief is stronger than feeling in my next video, actually. But if you want to focus on, feeling like you got the cup of coffee and drinking it and sipping it, do that, whatever works for you. For me, it's enough just reading it, believing it, and then assuming it and expecting it to come in. Everyone has their own way, but that is how you make the list, and that's how you start. And then you can make the list bigger. Some people use these lists as their literal vision boards. Like, they don't do like pictures and stuff, they just write what they want down. You can make it longer and bigger. It's just starting out small, manifesting those quote unquote smaller things, and then building the belief towards them. And that's all I have for you guys today. If you want to stay connected, please add me on Instagram. I'm already starting to get DMs and it's kind of becoming a lot. So if it takes time for me to respond, I'm sorry, but I'm working on it. With that being said, stay healthy and wealthy and blessed, and I will see you next time. Bye!